Dear viewers, welcome again to the analysis of Yoleno TV. I would like to start this session by requesting any viewer who has not subscribed to this channel to please support this channel by subscribing to it. Thank you so much for all those who've subscribed to our channel and made this channel grow. A quick recap into yesterday's proceedings of Chebukati and Donald Kipkorir engagement. Mind you, Donald Kipkorir engaged Chebukati for I think almost 1 hour. That grilling session took a lot of time, but Donald Kipkorir made sure that he exhausted everything. I don't want to talk about Donald Kipkorir so much, but there is a specific part that I found so interesting, and we did cover it in our previous analysis. Remember the analysis that we did yesterday, the video that I posted at around midnight. So in that video, there were some bits which I didn't touch on. So I thought that it was good or paramount for me to touch on those other points which we did not touch on in that analysis. So there's a part during the grilling session that Chebukati must have made a mistake, or maybe he did it intentionally, but he said that there was a wrong form which was submitted. If a wrong form was submitted, that means wrong results were submitted into the portal. That is what Chebukati said. It's not my words, it's his words, and I'll share. There's a video I'm sharing. You will see a part whereby Chebukati says a wrong form was submitted. So then there's a part very serious. I think hii sasa Chebukati na alikuwa anajifix kwa sababu remember when Gulia was asked whether MASIT'S was in attendance, he said all commissioners were in attendance. The same to Boya Molu and the same to Majan. All commissioners were in attendance at 3 a.m. Okay, but the problem here is simple. There is something that Donald Kipkorir said in that yesterday's session, that are you aware that Nyang'aya alikuwa hajaamka at the time you were saying there were those senior citizens, that Nyang'aya hakuwa ameamka. So again hapo ilipata kwamba Chebukati ilibidi aanze kukwama kama vile jana alikwama katika alipoulizwa kama hangekuwa nani angetangaza results, kama angepata maybe kama ajali ama angekuwa nani angetangaza results. Hapo aliuma mdomo. So katika hili swala pia Chebukati anaonekana akiuma mdomo kwamba you see, you will get to hear what he said as far as Nyang'aya is concerned, because according to Donald Kipkorir, he says that Nyang'aya was not in attendance at that particular moment, but the position of Chebukati and his other colleagues are that alikuwa hapo katika huo mkutano. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm sharing this video, and please take your moment, take a time. If you're not seeing the proceedings, just take your time and understand.
Public portal. And then the last stage is the chairperson of the commission declares the results.
Yes.
Are we together with the sequencing?
Yep.
And you've given us your training manual. Remember your manual you gave us, the pathway, the elections pathway.
Yes.
So it's one of your own manual is that you must receive the actual fiscal forms 34A and B, and for reconciliation, for tallying and verification. So on 15th of August, had you received all these forms 34A and B?
Yes, forms 34A, as we said, they were electronically transmitted to the portal.
Yes.
Almost, I think one or two, the ones which were not, a wrong form was transmitted, but about two did not go there. And then we had all the returning officers, the 290 constituencies had brought the fiscal form 34S to the bombers of Kenya, and also we had the returning officer at 291 for diaspora had received all the returns from the diaspora. So by the morning of 15th, we had received all the 34As and Bs at the bombers of Kenya.
Okay. So let's go to 15th of August, which is important for us. At 3 a.m. in the morning, when those three gentlemen came, how did you call the other commissioners? Were they just present? Were they around?
Yes, the commissioners were all over the floor of Bomas following up verification and tallying.
So how did you summon them?
I sent somebody to call them.
Physical, send someone to, how will you trace people all over the place?
I think the CEO was there. He just went and called them and they came.
So, by this time, 3 a.m., results, you didn't have the results.
The tallying and verification was still ongoing on the floor. Yes.
So again, what was the message from the three gentlemen? What did they want you to do?
They said we should consider declaring the Asmio presidential candidate as the winner, and in the worst case scenario, we look at a way of moderating results so that there's a runoff.
Chairman, you know you're a lawyer, you're the chairman of the commission. At 3 a.m., there were no results. No one, at least, no one. Did you know who the winner was at 3 a.m. in the morning?
No, we had not been given that 4C.
So, how will a discussion to declare someone a president arise, Mr. Chairman? I want to understand.
So that's what they said. That was the message. That's what I had.
Did Commissioner Irene MASIT'S actually speak?
She spoke.
You remember?
Yes.
What were our words?
She said we should look at what the gentlemen have said seriously. We should consider.
It's a consider.
The message here.
Was Nyangaya present at 3 a.m. in the morning?
Another?
On that day, that 3 a.m. in the morning, was he present?
Who?
Nyangaya.
To my recollection, all commissioners were present.
My information was that he was asleep. He hadn't even woken up. Are you sure he was there that day?
My recollection is that all commissioners were present.
I'm just wondering, if you can't remember that Nyangaya had actually not woken up, he was not there, how will you be able to remember what's chairman? Because he'll come here one day, another sitting, he'll say that he was never there, and he will actually show he wasn't there that morning of 3 a.m. and you're saying he was there.
Well, what I recollect is all commissioners were present. I think that's my recollection, and that's what I've heard.
Do you know the legal meaning of consider? Dictionary meaning of consider. You're a lawyer. What does it mean to consider?
Well, it just means what it is. Consider. I'll think about it. I need to take it seriously. I don't know the exact dictionary meaning, the words given in the dictionary.
Chairman, you know, as a lawyer, when a layman says compound, it means compound.
Yeah.
But when a lawyer says compound, it means something else, compound. The same spelling, but different meaning. And consider, once the tribunal is done today's hearing, they'll go and consider this hearing. They'll go and consider.
You give some weight to thoughts to something. I believe that's what it means. Yeah.
So the meaning of consider is not to particular decision, but think through, ponder.
Yes, if the issue requires, so there are some issues you don't consider, like the one discussions on at 3 a.m. in the morning. Those issues are not worth considering.
So at least, which you are correct. So at least at 3 a.m. we know there were no results. The next, when you met the next committee people, what time was it?
It was at 2 p.m. on 15th.
The NCAC people.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the advisory committee.
Yeah.
So at that time again, you didn't have the results.
We had not received the form that 4C. It was still being printed by the CEO.
Yeah. So there were no results again.
We had not received the Form 34C, but all the results had been tallied and verified, all the constituencies.
You told us that this group of people, they looked threatening, and they basically threatened you. I mean, you looked threatened, you felt threatened and intimidated.
No, they didn't look threatened. It's a message.
Oh, it's a message.
The message they carried. And they said we should look at them carefully to see the composition of who they were.
So, Chairman, you've been the chair for 5+ years, about 6 years, senior lawyer, and you felt threatened, or there were threatening. My client has hardly been there for a year. So, from your own perception, how do you think she was feeling? Threatened, or she didn't care? I mean, because if the chairman is threatened, she will. What about the other commissioners?
It was, you have a team of people walking in with a message, and the message was such that first you don't expect such a message in a democracy, a country ruled by a rule of law.
And I agree with you on that, Chairman.
Yes. Then the secondly, they are telling you this is a message from the National Security Advisory Committee. Of course, it's a threatening message, but as to whether I was threatened or not, I think is that your question?
No, you told me that. Okay, maybe I rephrased it.
The message which was threatening.
Yeah, the message was threatening.
Yes.
To you.
But for me, I just did my work. Of course, I was not threatened.
I agree with you, Chairman, that you did your work. What I'm just saying is about the effect of the words that they were threatening. The words were threatening. That's what you said. The words were threatening.
Yes, because of the nature of the message and the team that came with it.
And I'm saying you, as being a chair for 6 years, and the words were threatening, so you can imagine the effects of the same words or the same people on Commissioner Irene MASIT'S, who's been there for just a year.
I think she can speak for herself.
Okay.
I don't know how she felt.
Her position,
Yeah.
By that time, we didn't have results. And Marjan walked in at first. Let's go back. When you appointed Gulie to be the head of the presidential tallying process and the other commissioners to various roles, did you have a plenary meeting with the commissioners?
We did not have a plenary meeting. I think we had possibly some informal meetings. But issues of appointment to tasks is basically, even for meetings, subcommittee meetings, it's somebody has to steer the ship. And as
Chairman,
a chairperson, you must give guidance in any organization.
You don't call the commissioners,
yes,
they're only 6, and you tell them, I'm giving you this role, I'm giving you this role. Because my client tells me that she didn't even know until when they arrived in Bomas what commission has been given. She got her own letter, and everyone got their own letter, and it was like confidential letter. So they didn't even know what roles they've been given. That's how you did it.
I assigned the commissioners' roles to which I believed would be help us to manage the Bomas operations, and I believe that each of them did their role. They did complain that I don't want to do this role, give me another role. Nobody complained.
Yeah, they did.
Yes.
But you appointed Gulie and Marjan, with CEO, to be basically in charge of presidential elections, the tallying and the verification process, because you made them alternate team leaders, which is in law again is alternate is equal. It's basically co-equal, and Gulie admitted yesterday.
So what's the question?
So I'm saying,
yes, basically
you made Marjan and Gulie have equal roles in the presidential tallying process.
They were co-chairs. What we needed at Bomas was a team that can deliver. As to Marjan is the CEO and professor, they each have a contribution. The Marjan manages the management, and professor is a commissioner. So I don't think there was anything wrong with that.
Where were the offices at Bomas of Marjan and Gulie?
offices.
Yeah. Where were they?
The bombers' structure is that there was no offices for commissioners. They were all sitting in one common room. There was only an office for Marjan and myself.
Well, from that video, you can tell that Chebukati was fighting, fighting to get words to defend himself, was literally fighting to get words to defend himself. I don't know, but maybe I think as much as he was planned for this meeting, but Donald Kipureri was smarter. So, ladies and gentlemen, kindly share what your opinions are below the comment section. Once again, I'd like to urge any visitor, any viewer who's not subscribed to please consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. Once again, stay safe and stay blessed until we catch up again in our next analysis.